My name is Luca Fucile. I go by the name Yahna. I'm a music producer, DJ sometimes. And yeah, I just make sound designy, vibey, beat stuff. I started playing the guitar when I was like 11. But before that, my mom, she's been trying, before I got into guitar, she's always trying to get me into music through different instruments. She's a classical musician, and she tried to teach me the violin, didn't really stick. Piano didn't really stick. Viola also didn't really stick. And then when I was about 15, my friend Ali, my old drummer, he had like a 4-track digital recorder. So like I could plug in instruments or microphones, record, and then I could bounce them together. And that was the first time I ever recorded anything. That was really cool. So in terms of like technical, musical, note reading and stuff like that, I definitely lack. But it's just something that's very natural to me. Like when it came to deciding what I wanted to do for an extended period of time, I kind of just assessed what has stuck with me throughout time. Because you know when you're a kid, like so many things stick and others don't. Like you pick up loads of stuff and you drop it. But the one thing that kind of stuck with me all throughout was music. So then I was just, maybe I should just focus on that. Music interests me and makes me really, really, really curious because I don't feel like it's too mysterious, you know, like when you think about it, it doesn't make sense that you organize certain sounds in a certain way and then they can trigger an emotion with you without saying any words, or certain pieces of sounds put together can make 4 different people feel very similarly and trigger cues that are from parts of their lives that they feel similarly about. Something that maybe they could talk about, I don't know. But it's just, and sometimes it's just one sound. The tone of one sound can do that to somebody, you know? And that's something that interested me for a while, and like, in a way, like why it makes me curious. And it's also like, just like how it is for a lot of people, it's escapism. When you're writing stuff, if you're just in the mood, what you feel is nice in that mood, I feel kind of will dictate the direction of the song. So sometimes you won't even know, like, oh, you don't know if you're gonna write a serene song or an angsty song. Like sometimes I'll be writing something, I'll be like, oh, actually I'm really angsty right now, whoops. You know, and then you'll realize later on. Because what you think is nice in that state of mind is gonna, so you make these decisions. And when you put it all together in that state of mind, you're like, okay, this is nice. And then when you go to sleep, you wake up the next day, you're in a different state of mind. That's when you're actually perceiving it. And that's the cool part. Yeah, so I feel like you don't really get to consciously dictate that kind of stuff. perfection is like a made-up human thing. There's no such thing as perfection, you know? There's just like one side and another side, but there's never like anything ever never been perfect. It was beaten and then it was modified to be better, you know, like getting your drums to sound perfect and constantly comparing yourself to other people, something I did for a very, very, very long time. But one thing that's been working for me in terms of like finishing stuff is to try to not artistically compare it so much. Try your best to see it for what it is and work with it for what it is.